Hey there, I'm Jeff with CreditCards.com. Today we're doing a review of the Citi Diamond Preferred Card. This is one of the most popular balance transfer credit cards out there. If you aren't familiar with what a balance transfer credit card is, we've done a full guide on our website. I will link that down below in the description. We talk about the ins and the outs of balance transfer credit cards, who they're right for, who they're wrong for. So if you have any questions whatsoever, check out all the links down below in the description. The short story though, when it comes to balance transfer credit cards, is they are designed to help you pay down your credit card debt faster. So let's say you have 2 or 3 different cards, all of which you carry a balance on. You can transfer that, theoretically, the balance there, to your new balance transfer credit card, buy yourself some breathing room, and massively pay down your debt. So if that sounds like something that's relevant to your life, obviously, keep watching the video because we'll talk about the main pros and the cons of the Citi Diamond Preferred Card. And at the end, we'll have a final verdict for you. So hopefully you find the video helpful and insightful. If that's the case, we would really appreciate a thumbs up, and you can always subscribe to our channel. Now, we did do a full review of this card. I will link that down below in the description. I will try to cover everything that you need to know about this card, but inevitably there will be a few items that I overlook. So just so you know, there are helpful links down below in the description. And when it comes to credit cards, things do change frequently. And I obviously cannot come back and quickly update this video. So if you're wondering if everything is still relevant, check the links down below in the description. All right, so now let's cover the main pros for the Citi Diamond Preferred Card, and then we'll go over the downsides here in a minute. Now, the biggest reason to get the Citi Diamond Preferred Card is the intro period. Relative to a lot of other cards out there, it has a longer intro period for new purchases and for balance transfers. So the way it works is that for the first 18 months that you have the card from account opening, any qualifying balance transfers and new purchases, you pay 0% interest on those for the first 18 months. Now, after that 18-month period expires, the normal APR, it actually flips to that, and it is 14.74% to 24.74%, and it's variable, so keep that in mind. Now, obviously, those are pretty high interest rates, right? We all know that carrying a balance month to month on your credit card is one of the most expensive ways to borrow money. So if you use the card responsibly, I think that intro period can be a huge advantage and a great way to pay down your debt. If you use it irresponsibly, then you could probably get yourself into more trouble. So you want to make sure that if you get the card, you are really laser focused on paying down your debt. And how it works is, let's say you have $10,000 in debt across a couple of different cards, and you have a credit limit on this card that's maybe $10,000, and you transfer that balance across. For those first 18 months, you're not going to pay any interest. So you're kind of buying yourself breathing room to pay down that debt, which you should do. If you're transferring over a balance, throw as much money as you possibly can at your balance, because after those 18 months expire, after 18 months from account opening, you're going to be paying 14.74% to 24.74%, and it's variable. So that's something you have to be very smart with these credit cards. But I think it's an attractive quality to the Citi Diamond Preferred Card because a lot of other credit cards offer maybe 12-month intro periods, maybe 15-month intro periods. 18 months is on the higher end for all the cards out there. Now, beyond the intro period, the card is kind of barren when it comes to other perks. For instance, it doesn't have an annual fee, it has a $0 annual fee. I like that. It's a MasterCard, so I obviously like that as well because it's accepted most places that credit cards are. And it does offer a free credit monitoring service, so you can take a look at your FICO score. But beyond those things, it doesn't really have a whole lot of ancillary perks. I mean, most people are not going to get this card for the additional perks, but there are other cards out there that offer more in addition to an intro period. So that's kind of it in terms of the main pros for the Citi Diamond Preferred Card. Now let's cover some of the cons, because there are some reasons that you might not like the card. The first thing is that there is a balance transfer fee. So you're transferring money across to this card. There's a fee that you would incur in the process. This is kind of par for the course. Most balance transfer cards will have a balance transfer fee associated in the process of transferring a balance. With this particular card, it is 3% of the amount that you're transferring, or $5. That's the bare minimum, whichever is higher. So most of the time it's going to be 3%. So you transfer maybe $10,000, you're going to pay a $300 fee in the process. That'll get tacked on to the balance that you transfer across. So keep that in mind. There are some cards that do not charge a balance transfer fee. I can link some of those down below in the description. They're not home runs either though, because typically they will have maybe a shorter intro period or some other downside. So all of this is it's on you to really weigh what's most important to you, whether you want a longer intro period or no balance transfer fees. So you kind of have to look at some of that stuff, but I will link those down below in the description for you as well. Just keep in mind, there will be a balance transfer fee. It's actually more modest than it used to be. I think in the past it was something like 5%. So obviously 3% is better there. And a lot of cards have a 3% fee. Now, in addition to that, the card does not offer rewards. So let's say you go to buy a coffee or furniture or whatever you're gonna buy, you're not actually getting cash back or rewards or points or miles in the process. And there are other cards that offer an intro offer for balance transfers and purchases and still offer rewards. I can try to link some of those down below in the description. The one that comes to mind though is the Citi Rewards Plus card. That offers an intro offer for balance transfers and purchases and rewards. Granted, it does have a shorter intro offer for the balance transfers and for the purchases, but I'll link that card for you down below in the description. In my mind, it's not a huge downside with this card. I just think it would be nice if it offered rewards and the intro offer. Now, the other downside of the card is that it requires pretty good credit to qualify. I would say good to excellent credit to qualify. At a bare minimum, a 670 FICO score, and maybe that doesn't even guarantee that you get qualified for the card. That is very similar to a lot of other balance transfer credit cards out there. Typically, they only want to work with people that are extremely creditworthy. They're kind of going out on a limb, so it makes sense. But, you know, not everybody is going to qualify for this card. I wish it had a lower threshold. It doesn't. But just keep in mind that you have to have really, really good credit to qualify for the Citi Diamond Preferred Card. So that's about it with this card. You know, I personally have mixed feelings about it. On one hand, I think there's some major upsides. I think the intro offer is really nice, and that if you use it responsibly and you qualify, it can be a great way to pay down your debt quickly. On the other hand, it does have some real downsides. So we'll put them up here on the screen. These are just a quick recap of our main pros and cons for the card. I would say if you have really good credit, but you just have somehow amassed a lot of credit card debt, then it's probably worth looking into. I think it could be a very advantageous instrument for getting out of credit card debt. If that's not you, then you may want to look into some of the other credit cards that we have on our website. Again, CreditCards.com. And I'll link a bunch of helpful resources for you down below in the description. You may even want to try out our card match tool. I usually say that that's worth trying at least once to see if you have any pre-qualified or any special offers. I'll put that in the description as well. Have a great day.